currently the Dean and Principal of MLN Medical College, and we are lucky here. All of us have been a student and we have been seeing him on national and international forums. So he in Kanpur is really an auspicious day for us, and it's time for me to leave the mic for him. Sir, we welcome you all, sir, to deliver your talk on Phaco.
Kind words to me. First, I would like to very much thank you to Prayagraj Society for inviting me on such an important, wonderful occasion on the post-graduate teaching program initiated by this State of Society. So, you know, this is the PhD program, and already it is mentioned with very bold letter, and the letters back to basics. So, you know, basic is very, very important. So that is that I have this vision to discuss about the basics. As you know, the phacoemulsification now a better choice for cataract surgery, any kind of cataract surgery. So even, but I have also video, but I will not permit because I know the time schedule, very tight schedule. But anyway, I try to discuss only the basics for the beginners. For learning to the PG students, case selection is also very, very important. To start to learn the phaco, and for that you have to select the cases in which the nuclear sclerosis are grade 2 and 3, and this nucleus are only cortical cataract and sometimes no posterior subcutaneous cataract is better to select for the learning of the phacoemulsification. And once the surgeon is become experienced, then you can perform any kind of any situation, any grade of the nucleus, maybe small pupil, hypermature cataract, with raised intraretinal pressure. And this is very difficult to perform the rexis, but you know the technique and basics. Then you can perform the rexis, even in such conditions. Similarly, in other cases, posterior cataract. Phaco is better rather than doing the SICS in such type of cases. And similarly, the pseudophilic syndrome, sublateral lens is again better to put the CTR, various modification of CTR shown in the MF segment, etc. And the high myopia, some other cases are hard drawn cataract. Now we know it is, as you know, the far better good result of the phaco surgery. It is always better to understand both the technology and the techniques. In this technology, the basics of the phaco, this dynamics, along with this power modulation, and simultaneously you have to know also some of the techniques. So, earlier speaker has spoken about the phaco dynamics. So combination of balance of both technology is very, very important for the success of surgery. So you should know the fluidics and the setting of the phaco power and the estimation so that everything, each and every technology also very important to incorporate with your technique. The technique is the starting of this phaco research by this Kelvin 1967. There is various advancement each and every step of the phaco surgery. You know, these are the various steps the PG should learn and proceed accordingly, step by step. And each and every step has its own importance. Now, if we discuss about the incision, incision is again very, very important part. If we make the proper good incision, good construction of this cataract incision, then the fluidics can be maintained by keeping this fluidics properly. If there will be leaking, and then there's a lot of fluctuation in the anterior chamber, then you will take up so many complications you can invite. And similarly, the incision is also very important to control the extremities. Similarly, the capsulorhexis, I'm discussing in the next. You know, this incision, you have to think about the location, size, shape, and architecture. So I always prefer to perform the 3 penile incision. First make towards the incision of 2.2 mm, and then just dissect, and then now with the crescent, you have to make pass through and then make nick and then repeat and then pass it. So this is the tri-pillar incision. Always is better to perform tri-pillar incision, and they have lot of advantages. Though the people are doing the cervix shortcut, only uniplanar, sometimes the biplanar. But I always prefer to perform the tri-pillar incision. It has own advantages. And then one is very important, you can see some oozing of the blood is there. So make incision on such a place, just make a nick on the vessels. So this is the oozing of vessels. What will happen at the end of the surgery? You can see some leak, make acts as a glue. So a stability of the wound post-op is very well. You can control the estimated also. And the most important part of this kind of incision, you can, by making this incision, you can prevent the post-op endophthalmitis. As you go, they make a clear cut incision, sometimes what happens, due to ingress of the fluid, the fluid, some of this infection may take observed, well documented with this kind of thing. So, from very beginning, make a habit. Though later on you can do whatever you want, but the basic and one thing, the location is again very important. Give the incision at the side, at the steeper, where the steeper axis, to control the steeper axis. Size, depend upon the phaco needle. Usually 1.8 to 2.8 is sufficient, depending upon the size of the phaco needle, and shape is square. Now the terminal rhexis, capsule rhexis again is very important part of this phacoemulsification. You have to learn, you have to make a master of capsule rhexis. So this is the rhexis is the prerequisite for the successful of the type surgery. So give the sufficient time, learn basic principle of the rhexis, how to perform the rhexis. Then you can just for beginner, it's better to stain a bit type on glue, and then slightly make a nick slide just peripheral center of the capsule, and then make a nick and this flap. This is important that always the flap should be flat. It not should be floating in the chamber, and then you have to flat it and make the steering movement. You can see, you can with well control, you can perform the rhexis appropriate size 5.2, 5.26 mm in size, and gradually you have to just mirror image of this flap and the rhexis. So you have to rotate in the direction in which you want to make the rhexis properly. So you can see how well you can. There is no need of the second femtosecond laser for making rhexis. If you know, you master, you can figure out and see very well centered the capsular rhexis. Now you can see, Dr. Kamal has shown some type of this is a mature cavity raised intraventricular pressure. So how to rescue some kind of condition. So this is also part of the rhexis, how to complete the rhexis, and how to proceed further to make the phacosis successfully. So you can just make it with the micro scissors, cut it and get again you can make the rhexis or the remaining portion from the cut. And cut, it should be in the curved manner rather than the straight radial. It should not be cut initial cut, not the manner radial, but it should be curved so that you can. And then in this set of cases, don't do this hydro procedures. Make very gentle. This is the slow motion. Therefore, this pressure, the backward height should be less, and thus make it without. It should be the rectus separation should not be in the direction of the rhexis. The rhexis extended, and then gradually with the first after the phaco exam technique, you can do the phaco successfully in even in such type of condition where the rhexis is extended. You can see that with the well control, but here you have to slow motion. Buckle height should be less rather than the high in other cases. So how to prevent the rhexis in such type of condition in which the intraventricular pressure is raised? So you start with this very small rhexis, spiral rhexis. So you can learn the rhexis, and that by which you can prevent the extension of the axis, that is other kind of like sign I have seen earlier. So first make it 3 to 4 rounds. You can see how many rounds you can shoot gradually. Sometimes needed, or you can sometimes use the help of this axis forceps, and gradually you can just see. It should be always flat, mind it. If it is floated in the interior chamber, it will extend to any direction. So gradually you have to make it and then see with the help of always make it the direction, steady movement. Gradually make the flat over the this interior capsule, and always you have repeatedly you can inject the viscoelastic substance. And chamber should not be shallow in such conditions once you are going to make it. Even you can as Prayagraj for 5.5 to 6 mm, or sometimes may do the small axis and do later on after implant you can do the secondary extension of the axis later on. You can see how many this round we have made, and you can see the axis. So this is the you have to learn the axis. This hydrophilic scissor, hydrophilic scissor is the part, integral part of the phacoemulsification. If you successfully do this, I have done the multiple planar axis when the 3 zones, and so this is very important part of the phaco, by which you can, if you do this hydrophilic scissor, that is the hydrodissation and hydrodelineation. Hydrophilic scissor is separation with the whole the cortex with the capsule, and hydrodelineation just make it in between the epinucleus and the nucleus and the nucleus itself. You can say it is how many places are you can be good. So multiple you can so divide the nucleus, by which what will happen, it will provide this very efficient phaco mixture, by which you can do. If you make it this is small pore, what will happen, you can reach to phaco time. Once you reach the total phaco time, means total phaco energy delivery is very less. And second, what is another importance of doing this procedure? It will the epinucleus make a cushion for the phacoemulsification, and so it prevents the PCR then during phacoemulsification. And if you do the proper hydrodissation, separate the carcass from the capsule, so you can clean, you can wash the carcass very well, very easily, without much time. And what will replace all the fiber at the equator. So what will happen? This procedure will also prevent the PCO. So this is very important you have to learn. So don't forget the basic. If you will become advanced surgeon, each and every step you must become master. Then you can provide very good result of the phacoemulsification in any case. And then again after check the rotation, this hydrodissation procedure, see whether the nucleus rotated properly. It is again important part of this phaco surgery. As you know, during trenching, it requires the trenching nuclear division in smaller pieces. You have to rotate all the time the nucleus. So it is always better to check whether the nucleus become free, the nucleus is going to rotate or not. Each and every. So now coming to the the real phacoemulsification, for removing the nucleus in smaller pieces before that, you have to make break the nucleus in smaller pieces, and then after making it in smaller pieces, then do the phacoemulsification, by which again you can reduce the total phaco time. So again the delivery of this energy, phaco energy will be less, so nuclear damage will be less, so result is excellent. So I am coming back to the basics, because you have to have this PGs should learn part of the previous, as you know, there is much more advanced, different method of nucleating is there, but we have to learn. You should know at least the basic principle. So earlier, previously, there are different techniques, divide and conquer, in which you have to make reference in the 4 quadrants. So, because the basic in how to make this nucleus in smaller pieces, there are different techniques. You can learn from divide and conquer, stop and chop, direct chop, chip and sweep. This is very much useful in the once the nucleus is soft, if you do the phacoemulsification soft nucleus hot paper, you are not able to make the trench, and sometimes you are making you can't break the nucleus as such, so it is better to So similarly, the heart chart. I'm just coming one by one. And the part trenches, again, this is very important. I'm just making tip and tricks to you, and just small things for the making trench. Trench is very important. For the beginners, the two important. One is that if you want to learn and you want maybe successful phaco surgery, one is the rexis is very important part. Second most important for the beginners is break the nucleus into two parts. If you are able to break the nucleus into two half, then I think 90% is phaco is over. Rest is so easy, you can go. If you are able to do these things, rest is so easy. Anybody can complete the phaco. So I am coming to the test, very important. So before that, for each every step, you have to earlier, I think it has been, this phaco diagnosis must have been covered by the previous speaker. The setting of the phaco is very bad. That's why I have told already, the use of phacoemulsification technique, both is important to the phaco. So each every case, what are the setting, what is the setting of the phaco? This respiration flow rate, backbone, and this is phaco power. For the phaco power, you know, depends on the grade of the nucleus, multiplied to 15 plus 25. This is the general formula, but it varies. And the length, again, for making the divide for the beginner, you have to be able to divide in two halves. For two halves, just make a length of the trench should be just start of the rexis. You can extrude even if you have under the capsule and rexis as well. But it should be sufficient length, and the depth is again very important. But the trench should be diameter wide in order to comfortably accommodate the seat pipe. If you make a narrow slip, what will happen? Once you are going inferiorly with the help of with the phaco, what will happen? This phaco slip will not accommodate, and it will push the nucleus in the future downward and inferiorly. Then what will happen? You can suppression may take place. So make a sufficient two-way, one to accommodate the slip, and other way. If the cracking into half will be easy, much more easy. So it's again very important. And achieving adequate depth is again very important. Depth is sufficiently so that you are able to have a red reflex. Again, gradually you have to make sufficient depth for making to have the most important part. I am giving a tips to you that the movement of the phaco tip, it should be along the posterior curvature of the nucleus. As you know, this is the nucleus. So the downslope, motion of the phaco should be there. If you just go the phaco down, and after reaching the center, you have to slightly go at the curve of the nucleus. If you direct go the phaco horizontally, what will happen? You can hit the capsule like this. So you have to go along the curvature. I will show in the next. See, now coming to this divide and conquer technique. So, some in the right side, in the curvature of the posterior capsule. So, you have to proceed making a trench as the curvature is there. So, otherwise, the probe you have to keep horizontally. You can hit inferiorly the capsule and the rent takes place. So, this is very important. And so, as perpendicular to the posterior capsule, you have to make the trench. And how to know that is properly it has been made. Just see the reflex, red reflex all along the trench. If it is not visible at one point, it means an uneven trench is there. So it is very difficult to even the break. So you can, for just a moment, you just make this a divide and conquer, rotate the nucleus and make the trench in outward current. So for beginners, you can very easily divide the nucleus in 4 quadrants. If in smaller pieces further, if you become expert, you can make even further smaller pieces. You can see further you can break in the different pieces and then hold it. Again, this is the parameter during trenching. The backbone should be less 200. Water has 95, and the phaco power is maximum. More phaco power sufficiently there. And then phaco 2, this backbone is much more. Backbone should be increased 450, 500 backbone, and the phaco power, this removal of this nucleus, the phaco power should be less. And then you can see how it is smaller. You can remove the the nucleus very easily. And again, the stipend for the beginner, in my opinion, is one of the best technique. The stipend submits, just make one trench, and then stop it. And then proceed for the chop. As the chop, that's what it is nominated that the stop and chop. First make a such, you can see the movement. Go in the center and slightly just lift the slightly, it comes interiorly and sufficiently. You can see that again, this is very important, how to this divide it. Always, this is again a trick that place both the instrument, Phaco tip and the singh and the deeper plane, not super interior, not the super interior. Otherwise, what will happen? If you can place it, you can break it. If you place interiorly, it will join again. So this is a very important one. Take where to put the two instruments and how to divide into half. Once you are able to divide into half, this is very easy. Then you can further only chop and chop, then hold it. You can see here the paper is sitting more, and then hold it, rotate it, and see how many pieces, how many smaller pieces you can observe. You can break the nucleus very small. One half you can divide into four pieces further. So once you divide it, then you can see how easily and without using much Phaco energy, you can remove the nucleus very well. So you can reduce the Phaco energy. So what you can damage to the endothelium will be, of course, you can reduce very minimal. And then the chopping, there are two types of chopping. One is the vertical chopping, another horizontal chopping. I will show. Vertical chopping, you know, it is better. Horizontal chopping, you have to go under the from periphery. You have to go from periphery, as in the left side from periphery. You have to pull it. So heart sometimes the capsule may comes, or even then may takes place. So vertical chopping is better, but you have to require some expertization. And then direct chop, you know, direct chop you can see slightly just after this paper, wash it slightly, some epithelium will wash it and expose the nucleus slightly, just wash it. Then you can just hold the, in this condition you have to, the backbone should be much more, 500, and then take with the help of this chopper, stabilize the nucleus, and then impale in the center of nucleus, and then you can, this is a vertical chop, you can see from the center, so it is, you can see from this from interior to posterior, how you can do, this is the vertical chop by which you can hold it and from the center. Even if you can chop by the horizontal chop again, but this vertical, and sometimes you can take it from the reverse chop, from center to periphery, you have to break the nucleus. You can see in different pieces, how many pieces, in multiple pieces, only you have to hold it, you should remember the ratio principle. If you hold it, this backbone is very high, so they should be high. Just hold it and energy very well. If energy is less in this situation, what will happen? It will stop this nucleus and remove the nucleus. You can just you can see the holding energy should be less, very less, and the chopping. So you can remove and you can break the different pieces. You can, how many pieces you can see, you can observe it, and then with that Phaco 3, that is this. You can remove the nucleus very easily without using much energy. You can say this is the, so this is a direct chop. Once you become master of the dividing, then you can perform the, then again this is a three-point technique. You can see a hydroprecision is help. Hydroprecision you can do initially, you can inject the small fluid. Later on, once the cleavage there, you can see what will happen, that it does slightly tilt it and then go slightly tilt it the nucleus, and you can see how to go behind it. Then you can break with the help of the singh and the UPSOS. This is a Phaco needle, and simultaneously you can break in small pieces. Sometimes, though it is slightly grade 2, but this flip and chip, flip and sharp method is better in the grade 1 nucleus. But just to show the technique, you can chip, you can see again what you can do in this case of that sharp technique as well. But for sharp, so this technique is better. Now coming to another there is a very hard cutter and sharp technique. Though you can do this sharp and sharp technique also in this situation very hard. Grade 4, grade 5 nucleus you can make a product, just rotate it slightly, make this product center core of the nucleus should be just emulsify and make a product, and then once you just like a cup you can make it there. Later on you can just see for the such case without damaging the endothelium. You can just like I'm rotating simultaneously, and you can see from with the Phaco itself you can rotate it, and all around you can later on you can show as Dr. Malay has shown the peripheral this letter separation folded at the margin, and so by making it is better you can fold very easily, and you can say letter separation, and you can break the nucleus in small pieces. Though in this case still the center plate is there. So in this case you can do better, so you can make a slightly deeper this cutter, so that what will happen, there should be no the plate in the center. But this is the better technique in case of very hard this nucleus. So sometimes even this PG is the main case. This type of cases, suppose if a person asking to operate and you are interested to operate, so if you learn the basic, if you will be able to perform even this type of the cases of the in this grade the hard, very hard this nucleus also. And then once you know break in the nucleus, rest you know such the hard nucleus, if you are able to make smaller, then it's very easy to remove this. Do the Phaco very well, even any kind of case. So now the Phaco, the Phaco, you can find any kinds of in cases. So again, the basic, see the basic principle of the CVAS irrigation. Hold it with the transition movement, bring it slightly in the center, and then circle. From those, this is why manual technique is very important. How to set it, watch it and closely, and you can see how what to do and what are the trick for the removing the cortex. So there is no any fibers in there. So do the primary polishing, and you can see how this capsule is with no fibers. It is like you do the this polishing, and even the margin. Always in the margin you have to then again with the help of margin wash the margin entire capsule. The margin should be washed properly, and then again I1 implantation. Do the basic again the trick. Just inject it, and it should be directed so that at least the leading haptics should go in the bag. Once you back at the junction, just rotate it, and very easily effective without damaging the capsule. You can implant very well. Now you can say this is also important part. This seal the wound, and this procedure with the addition of the wound, and you can seal it. Otherwise, this chance of so you can what it should be watertight. So again you can see how. And just a few points that I have already given to you. That the incision should be tight leather, and it should be at the steeper axis, and the rexis, rexis should be 5.5 to 6 mm, and the Phaco setting is to you have to master Phaco setting. Which kind of setting should be there, and sculpting during sculpting high power low backbone, and chopping the low power high backbone, and during training I have already explained you and for the beginners start and sharp is separate. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, please.
These are moments to be cherished.
Thank you so much.